You're live in another element. You're live with another element.
This one, she was good.
Uh-huh. It's just two of us today. Snow day. It's a snow day. Shit is weird now, yeah. You know that for the first time, men were like shuffling my way as I was like driving down the street, and I was like, yo, I used to be them. This is so funny.
Wait a minute. Did you just say something that wasn't toxic about men?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Look at that.
I don't think that all men are toxic.
Anybody ain't nothing.
I mean, I do think that some black men can be a monolith, right, though? West Siders who wear pelly jackets, they are all the same.
Queens niggas wear pelly jackets too.
That's disgusting if they do.
Queens niggas love pellies.
Mm-hmm.
Queens niggas love pellies.
And they also leave skid marks on your sheets. So. Call a spade a spade.
I don't even want to go nowhere with that. My mind raced a couple directions. None of them seemed intelligent. 2 Chainz. Nikki.
This is brand new Fredo.
On my dick put a hickey.
Fredo featuring Young Ads and Pop Smoke.
Wait. Young Ass?
Young Ads. Young ADZ.
Oh.
And then Pop Smoke. And it's called Burn on Deck. It's called Burn on Deck.
Okay, all right, my bad.
Fredo is from the UK.
Okay, shout out to all my Brixton people out there.
I actually popped in his DMs this past week.
You popped a DM?
I popped in his DMs.
Oh.
I said gingerly saying hi. And then I sent the pink heart with the like stars around it.
So you a DM jockey?
No, I just, I shoot, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like UK drill actually.
His album dropped Friday. The album is called Money Can't Buy Happiness.
Can't buy happiness for you.
Money can buy Morgan though.
Promises and lies could buy Morgan.
Also, just changed my Clubhouse name officially. It's Big Mo. Officially. We went and locked it in. I'm Big Mo.
Until you get kicked off next week.
And unfortunately, I woke up to something horrifying yesterday. Do you know that there was a room on there titled Beautiful Queens Throwing Down the Rakes? I said,
what?
How dare y'all?
Wait. What?
You heard me. These youngins are very disrespectful.
Yeah, they.
There was so many of them who just had like photos of themselves throwing down the rake stuff. It was like,
it must be a wonderful time to be a Fed. Like, it must just be fun right now. You could just put a bot out online and search and just find people doing stupid shit. It must be a great time to be a Fed or an op. Mm-hmm. Like they found did you hear that the Proud Boys leader was Tekashi?
Stop it.
Yeah, the feds had that Puerto Rican dude was a federal informant the whole time.
Oh, I thought you were saying Tekashi was.
He's a Mexican hanging around with people of other races trying to blend in who was really a federal operative.
Okay, but I thought you were saying that Tekashi was. Yeah, the Proud Boy. I thought you were saying that.
That's the difference. Officer Hernandez. They all officers. That's all it is.
It's just that one got the accent going the other way on top of the E.
Hernandez. Like, yeah. But yeah, they snitching. Snitching is at an all-time high.
And we are live. It's officially a snow day, which is why Show You Suck is only here with us in spirit.
Yeah.
He stays in Little Puerto Rico, and they have not gotten to their shovels yet.
Actually, what really happened is Morgan didn't know how to make the technology work, and after 3 minutes quit. But
I'll admit that I'm a quitter. I recognize.
I want you to quit quitting.
Yeah, see, I'm not going to do that.
No, you a quitter, so just quit quitting.
I know, but you're telling me to quit Quentin, and it's like, see, the thing is, for me to do that, I need to, I probably need to have certain releases, and those releases require other people. And because we're in this pandemic, I have not had those releases. So once that happens, I might actually be a better.
Where's the camera?
A better audio engineer.
Yeah, there it is. Morgan, stop blaming it on. I'm not even looking at you. I'm looking at the camera. You ain't had releases pre-pandemic, nigga.
First of all, I did, and I would even more so now because I'm like fully locked in now.
You got some damn socks in your damn bra and shit.
First
you
of all, don't play with me. Do not play with me, okay?
This motherfucker got some dirty socks in her bra and shit and thinks she
First
cool.
of all, do not play with me.
All right, anyway,
okay?
let's continue with the show, socks and bras.
Right. First of all, these things move. Secondly, how was your week?
Let's see. How was my week? I was pretty decent. It was pretty decent. What happened? The full moon beat my ass a little bit. That was a lot of fun. Got some new songs done. Monkey finally showed up after a decade, so we got.
Oh
some
wow!
Yeah.
So y'all like actually like reconnecting and shit?
Yeah. We got 2 records done.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So
when will we be ready to review one of those?
very soon.
Okay.
Very
cool.
soon. So no, it's been good. Just been doing my psychic development. I've been on Spiritual Clubhouse this week. They didn't send you an invite for that.
I don't want to get on Spiritual Clubhouse.
Of course, because it's for the bosses only. I was up there. I had a nervous breakdown. They almost did to me what they did to you.
They called you toxic?
No, kicked me off. But I maintained I'm still on Spiritual Clubhouse. But no, I had.
You just on probation?
Yeah. I think it was from Jay-Z. But anyway, I wowed out on the full moon.
And this is why we're friends.
Yeah. So how's your week? What did you do?
I had a really interesting week. You know, I woke up in the middle of the Reddit army shifting the world, or the New York Stock Exchange.
I like how that actually happened 1 week after we talked about how it was all funny money anyway.
Exactly.
We was like, hey, y'all, this shit is all fake. And then the next week, it was like, by the way, this shit's all fake.
You could buy into all of this shit,
Yeah.
and then you get money. And then we actually saw some crazy things happen, which I think that's where we'll start at.
What?
This past week, the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ,
Got exposed.
Robinhood, Ameritrade, a lot of different folks halted the buying of certain stocks
Illegally. Not allegedly.
which is totally not legal because it's supposed to be a free trade
I
market.
thought it was a free market.
But we are not really free, and the reason that they did so is because there were people who were manipulating the market the same way that the hedge fund people do all the time. And they were advising the public
On
that,
how
hey,
to do it.
You should go buy GameStop.
Right.
Or you should go buy AMC. You should go buy Nokia. You should go buy BlackBerry.
Wait. Just a little heads up. If you don't understand how it all worked, a lot of people are putting it videos out. But if you've ever seen Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, they had a movie.
Bernie Mac was in the follow-up with Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, Trading Places.
Or the remake.
Trading Places, they broke down how this worked. And ironically, what happened is very, very similar to the legend of how Nathan Rothschild took over the UK. Very, very similar. So some people say it didn't happen like that. Some people say it did. But this is not the first time this has happened.
Explain what happened with Nathan Rothschild.
Allegedly. So here's how it goes. There's multiple versions of the story. We're going to go with the basic one. Supposedly, he had one of the greatest spy networks in the world back in the day. And him and his brother were basically both semi-financing wars between France and England. He was financing England. His brother was kind of financing France. So this is Napoleon and Waterloo and all that. So supposedly, the legend, I wasn't there, the legend is that he knew Napoleon lost before everybody else. because he had the best spy network. His was better than the Queen's. So he knew Napoleon lost before everybody else. Supposedly, that's how the legend goes. And he used this information to spur dramatic drops in prices and things of that nature, because supposedly, according to legend, he pretended like, without actually saying anything, he pretended like London or the UK had lost the war and just started selling shit, which caused everybody to sell in mass panic, which dropped the price of the stock, which then allowed him to come in and buy it for pennies on the dollar, which is the same thing that kind of happens in trading places, which is the same thing that just happened with GameStop and Reddit and AMC. And it's kind of what we was talking about last week, how a lot of stock valuations is based completely on funny money. And if you listen to a lot of conservatives, but not real conservatives, because if they were conservative, they'd do the math. When you listen to a lot of people who listen to OWN and Newsmax and Fox and all that, they'll talk about P&E and all that type of shit. That's not connected to the stock market anymore. That's the fucking 80s. Maybe the 90s, but definitely not now. And what we saw is how people could run up the price of stock and change the valuation at the drop of a dime. And the only thing was, this is the first time basically artists was able to do it without a label. Let's just take it all the way from stock market thing. Basically what we just saw was the Chance the Rapper of the stock world. And me personally, I'm all here for it. Because I asked the question, how much is Facebook worth? People are like, that's not how much GameStop is worth. Well, how much is Facebook worth?
Mm-hmm.
What's their profits and earnings and revenues that would justify this money? How much is Tesla worth? We see, they say Elon Musk's name is at the top. But if Tesla ain't selling more cars than Toyota, then how is they worth all this money?
How did Clubhouse get a valuation of $1 billion?
What dollar?
They ain't sold the ad yet.
They ain't sold it. So where is money coming from?
Is it clicks? Are you talking about how much they're generating for
There's nothing.
the platform that they use? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so what? And that goes into a deeper conversation, especially when it comes to some of these services, like your Facebook, your Instagram, your Clubhouse, especially these like social media apps. Like, where's the money coming from if it's not directly advertising? Oh, it's the data that they are sending over
and selling
to multiple people.
Yeah.
Which is how every time you type something in your search bar
even
on
if you
Google,
add,
it pops up on your side when you on Facebook, letting you know.
Then you know that they watching. And even down to Spotify. Spotify, they was talking about how they want to add an app within it that basically listens to you while you're on Spotify and picks the songs that they're gonna play based on your mood and shit like that. How they all trying to, same thing with that Amazon Echo and Siri and
Clubhouse.
All that
literally
shit.
Just had to Clubhouse. People were informing each other that you need to go into your permissions on the app, go to Instagram, and disconnect the Instagram having like access, because people were able to log in and ghost. There was a bug in the app where they were able to hack into people's profiles by hacking into their Instagram and talk through their account on Clubhouse.
Wow. Same thing just happened with Parler. How them people all just got them Fed cases. Like, people thinking these apps is lock, stock, and all that, but it's not. And these companies is getting these $1 billion valuations based on what? Based on our IP and our ideas and what we make hot off of our minds. And then we don't get to mine the gold, but somebody else get to mine the mine. And then we've been taught our whole life to work hard and lift yourself up by your bootstraps and not eat avocado toast and all that shit. But what you telling me is that Wall Street is literally just printing up funny money, calling it stock, and then you could turn around and use them stocks to turn around and buy real hardcore shit when it's just based off of a mutually agreed upon lie. But I gotta go, if I want to make $15 an hour, that's crazy. But if the price of healthcare, home care, daycare, school, and all that shit done jumped up, doubled, but my income hasn't went up 20%, I'm supposed to just take that on the chin because I'm not working hard enough and being a good American. But then on the other end, people in in New York and Wall Street and people in Silicon Valley literally just to get to print up money from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
When we supposed to live in these two different systems, really what I'm glad this exposed is we could stop talking about goofy shit like black and white. That's some goofy shit that you use to control stupid motherfuckers. What this shit really is halves and half fucking nots. And it's two different economies going on. Fuck black and white. It's green and red. And either you in the green or you got green or you in the black or you broken in the red and in debt. And the people that got the green, them motherfuckers is just printing that shit up out of thin air. Thin air. And that's what this game has always been. That's why I'm always on the side of artists keeping their IP, because your IP is something that you created out of thin fucking air. You had a song, you heard it in your head, you took a couple chords in your head, you took a couple bars, and you created something out of thin air that you could then turn around and turn into hardcore money. But people didn't realize all of this is being created out of thin air. Mm-hmm. People think money, nigga, they print it. What the fuck don't you understand?
I wanted to jump in though. You said that it's not black and white. I do think that there is still some truth to the socio-economic breakdown of races, and I want to say specifically, I saw this in Philadelphia this past week. Philadelphia. There was a report. Okay. There was a report that said a 22-year-old with no healthcare background boasted that his Philadelphia startup could vaccinate between 500,000 and 1.5 million people and make a lot of money doing it. Yeah. City officials gave him vaccines. Then things went wrong.
Wait. And what I mean by black and white, keep going. I want to hear this. Wait, it's like I really don't. Like, what the fuck you giving the 22-year-old? Anyway.
Yo, they said it started out, it was a group of college friends who had tech skills. So they used 3D printers at the top of the pandemic to make face shields. They then organized the nonprofit Philly Fighting COVID. Yeah. And opened the testing site in a Philadelphia neighborhood that didn't have one. Okay. But then the leader had bigger ambitions. Okay. So he's a graduate student at Drexel University. All right. He gathered a bunch of folks and showed them a fancy PowerPoint. Yeah. On this PowerPoint, he unveiled a plan to vaccinate the entire city of Philadelphia. Yeah. He laid out colorful graphics, maps, all aspects of the vaccination system, from scheduling to staffing to safety protocols. Mm-hmm. His marketing plan, though, hinged going to, how they use us, 5P, on inoculating local celebrities like rapper Meek Mill in order to attract his fan base.
So, wow. I mean,
But then, hold on. Yeah. He made a...
What was the mistake? How did this go wrong?
He had a $2.7 million projected budget that he presented to the Philadelphia City Council.
Of course. That sounds about right.
They promised, everyone that they could do this. They could knock this out. Right. By January 9th, he had a deal with the Philadelphia Department of Public Health.
That makes sense.
And Mayor Jim Kenney's administration.
So it's 3 weeks ago.
They provided him an unofficial sanction, and the city turned over part of his vaccine allotment to the group. Okay. And helped it find recipients by sharing lists of residents who were newly eligible for the vaccine.
So they gave him the shit, then they gave him warm leads, and they gave him the product. Yeah. How'd they fuck it up? Like, let's go. How'd you fuck this up? You got the money, you got the warm leads, you got the product. Let me guess. They didn't want to do the work. They just thought some celebrity was going to come in and make it all go away. So, hold on. How'd they fuck this up?
So, at his first vaccine event, at which 2,500 doses were administered, City Council President requested the demographic breakdown of the recipients. But the health department told him that Philly Fighting COVID has somehow lost all of the racial and ethnic data for the patients. They were blaming a glitch in the Amazon cloud.
I thought they was tech geniuses. That's how you started the story, right?
Mm-hmm. Then, eventually,
but if you was to get funding through this type of stuff, it's all based off of data and demographics and being able to justify it so that you can make another pretty PowerPoint so you can send that on to the mayor.
Then
So they gotta have these numbers.
No, they sent out text messages. Every time somebody would sign up, it would confirm them for the vaccine. So they had people coming to get vaccinated and then turning them away because they were like, yo, you're not eligible. There were 85 and 95-year-old people who were in line who were getting turned away. When he was about to be approached about it, he was seen. The gentleman who started this, he was seen taking vaccines and shoving them into his backpack. He took vaccines home. He says the only person he vaccinated by himself, though, was his girlfriend.
All I heard from that long, stupid ass story is I'd have got to step my PowerPoint presentation.
Up, right? We gotta get our pitch decks ready.
Once
we get our pitch decks ready, we could do whatever the fuck we want at this point.
That's what it sounds like. Because here's the end. A lot of their plans hinge upon us being a part of it and doing the actual lion's share of the work for the smallest piece of the pie. The American business model is still based on slavery. And now they say you're not a slave because we paid you. Well, if you paid me just barely enough to live in a neighborhood that's overpriced where niggas is shooting and killing each other outside, then, I mean, we tomato in this shit at a certain fucking point. The data and analytics, they fucked up when they didn't have that. But really, what I learned about, we in Chicago. Chicago is a city that's built on bricks. It's built on mortar. You know what I'm saying? You want to build something, you got to really build it out. You know what I'm saying? You get out to LA, you get out to San Francisco, you get out to New York, get out east, you find out a lot of them places is built on paper and ink and ideas. That's what them places is really built on. Wall Street is all a bunch of paper and ink and ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood, a script is paper, it's ink, it's fucking ideas. You know what I'm saying? You make a app. It's you type some shit. It might not be paper, but you typed up some codes and that's it. It's just words and numbers on paper. And when you put words and numbers on paper, you could turn around and get them words and numbers on paper to certain people and they will give you fucking money. And that's the way the world really fucking works. And that shit is stupid. That was some dumb shit. That sounds like some shit Philly would do. I'm not mad at homie. I'm mad that we didn't write that proposal, to be 100% honest with you. Even the same thing with all the clubhouse and all that goofy shit. I'm not mad at that. I'm mad that we didn't get in on it.
Speaking of, there's an app that black people were supposed to be making.
I fake heard
called
about
the Cookout.
I fake heard about it.
And that's a whole lot of
So
mess.
here's what we could do. Hey, hip hop. Here's what we could do. You ever seen The Wolf of Wall Street and how he was doing penny stocks? All right, check this one out. We could take penny stocks and move them from, let's say it's a stock that's really going to like 9, 10, 12 cents a stock. Move that bitch to $1. Your money just went up tenfold.
$1 though?
$1. You move it up $5, your money went up 50-fold. You move it up to $10, your money moved up 100-fold. And instead of us going to work for a living like they teach rural and suburban red Americans, let's do what they bosses do. And they bosses decide on what company they're going to push the price of the stock up. And they push the price of the stock up. The price of the stock goes through the fucking roof. Everybody turns around and makes money. Everybody turns around and gets contracts with businesses and other corporations. Everybody gets rich. Company go under, the company go under. The company keep going, the company keep going. But everybody get rich. So how about we get some penny stocks? The same thing they just did with GameStop. We do the same thing at a smaller level, and if all we make is a couple 100,000 first, we can do that. Then double up, make some millionaires, and then go 10, 100. Cause like if all you got to do is just do that, then why the fuck is we out here working for a living?
Where the world will we find people who could, again, Reddit worked because there was an army of Redditors who were able to get the messaging out.
Wait, so social media?
I'm saying, but now we're getting to a point where
social media.
No, but NASDAQ, they literally decided to say, they said last week that if they see certain things being talked about on social media, that they will halt, those stocks being allowed to be bought.
Somebody go sue them, and that's going to end.
I know, which there is a class action suit coming against Robinhood right now.
Oh, that's done. So what you're telling me is, hold on. You just said that we agreed that these social media empires have been built off of our IP and our minds and ideas.
Yeah.
You just told me that social media can now control financial tech.
Mm-hmm.
We control social media, which by extension means that at any given moment we could control fintech.
But what happens when they ask for a bailout? I'm talking about Wall Street, and within that bailout, they have new legislation that says that you are not allowed to discuss investing on social media platforms
Can't do that
anymore.
Can't do that.
It
Can't do
almost
that.
certainly will happen.
Can't do that. Can't do that.
After this past
Can't
week,
do that.
it's going to happen.
Can't
I'm
do that.
telling you it's going to happen.
Can't do that.
Well, let's revisit this in 90 days when that new legislation comes out.
Here's why you can't do that. Here's why you can't do that. A, it's illegal. Can't tell me what the fuck I could talk about. Period. B, to your point as to why they might want to do that, is because it's going to expose and people are going to revisit the question I've been asking consistently. How much is Facebook really worth? That's what they're afraid about people asking. How much is Facebook worth? Google is worth all. Alphabet, the real company that own Google, Alphabet and Google, they got numbers and letters. That's some black magic. But anyway, that's not even black magic. That's dark magic. But how much are they worth? Like, this is way bigger than Robinhood, Ameritrade, all that. It's going to ask the question, how does the entire American stock exchange really work? The same thing I was saying about how hypnosis, how they would buy somebody, like they go buy Neil Young's catalog.
And I think while that's important that it asks these questions, people are, while I love us, I also know that a lot of us don't want to go through the process of adapting to some new shit, even if it does result in us earning more money.
Well, look. Harriet Tubman said, I would have freed more of them if only they knew they were slaves. Fuck them niggas. I'm under the Harriet Tubman Act.
Yo.
I'm under, I'm under the Harriet Tubman.
No,
I'm not worried about that. Here's the long term. I'm going to call this trend early. If social media can now control fintech, melanated, Moorish, original indigenous people control the stream of social media. That means we control fintech. And guess what that means? We've always controlled it. Mm-hmm. Motherfuckers wasn't driving Bugattis until Future did. I woke up in a new Bugatti. He did that song. Bugatti sales went up. Bugatti stock went up. That was Future the whole motherfucking time. Pastor Cavassier. In my Air Force Ones. We have been doing it indirectly the entire time. We've been doing this the whole time. Kanye, Jay, Puffy, all of them was the first ones who said, holy shit, wait a minute. Fuck Hennessy, Douce. Fuck that, Yeezy. Fuck that, Ciroc. We've been doing this the whole time. The big takeaway for me about this Robinhood shit isn't this incident. It's the fact that social media can now control the entire financial tech industry. And if social media can control the financial tech industry and we control social media, if motherfuckers don't get wealthy off of this, you prove Kanye right. Slavery of choice. That's it. You proved him right. You chose to be a slave. Yeah. You chose to. You see, the bosses of the new plantations is the Bezos. That's what it is. Corporate America is the new plantation, and you go get you a good boss job working for boss, and you could go work for Amazon or Google or Tesla or Apple, and those is good plantations to work for because they're going to give you health care and da-da-da-da-da. So that's what it is. If you want to go work for their corporate ass, you want to go work for a plantation, or you could actually move the same way the plantation owners is moving. The plantation owners is Bezos. How did he get his billions? Stock. He was nobody 15 years ago. How did motherfucking Bill Gates get his money? Stock. How did Elon Musk get his money? Stock. How did Zuckerberg get his money? Stock. That's how the masters are moving. So you can either go and work your way into the plantation, and I'm going to go and work and go to school for 20 years so I could prove to the plantation boss that I deserve a spot. Or you can move the way they moving. So you could be a slave or you could be a master. Because guess what? Them the same people that own the record labels and all that shit.
Okay, now I want to get into records. So here locally, we have a situation where the Triibe, which is a local publication founded by Morgan, Elise Johnson, also Tiffany Walden, two black women who are dope, and they are actually pushing for black journalism in a city where we got a lot of fucking, white people handling our journalism.
And we gave it to him.
Yep, i.e. John Cass. He's allowed to be as racist as he want to be.
Never heard.
Chicago Tribune all the time. Oh, you've heard of John Cass?
Oh no, that's why the newspapers is dead, because they got them racist conservative assholes.
Now, they put out an article the other day.
The Triibe put out the article.
Yeah, they put out the article.
So
they had two artists.
Check out the original article.
They had two authors write a article. They had two journalists do some research. It was basically Chicago hip hop blogs launch indie artist contest, but there's more to them than meets the eye. I'm going to read a little bit from the article.
Okay.
Should artists pay to play? Two new music discovery app services are calling for artists to pay to upload their music for a chance to be discovered. Popular Chicago music blogs, Fake Shore Drive and What's the Word, have teamed up with X-Wave and Breaker, respectively, to solicit new content through two music contests, named Full Service Sessions with Fake Shore Drive and What's the Buzz Live contest. Both contests offer marketing and other types of exposure to the winning artists at a time when Chicago's hip-hop landscape is growing rapidly. However, they asked the question, is it safe for artists to upload their music to these platforms? For example, with Andrew's situation with X-Wave, it's a discovery app that connects artists with tastemakers and new fans. To submit a song on there, there's a fee of $20. Now, going further, What's the Word announced a similar contest. What's the Buzz Live?
I'm reading this shit.
Yeah, hold on. Now, hold on. They have a $50 submission fee. But then they say what they're going to do outside of rating the music and talking and critiquing the music. They're going to, give gems about the music industry, yada, yada, yada. However, because they looked at the contracts on both of these, they are agreeing to a broad set of legal terms with the streaming apps when they upload. Edward Wimp, an Orlando-based attorney and Chicago native, said that the artists would be very vulnerable and taken advantage of and possibly have their work stolen. He believes that both contests are risky propositions. Generally, somebody pays the artist to use the song, but in this scenario, you're paying somebody to let them use the song. What they're giving in consideration is the exposure that may or may not come with it. For example, with What's the Buzz? For example, yada yada yada. What's the buzz? The artist would retain ownership of the work they're licensing. However, the monies made from that license would not be in the hands of the artist. It will remain in the hands of Breaker. And then Breaker has the right to sub-license your work.
Pretendistry 101.
Hold on, and my biggest issue with this entire story is...
Let me skip down to an article.
My biggest issue with the story is, I guess the people who run the project connected to What's the Word, they were holding a room on Clubhouse. They pinged the founders of the tribe, Morgan and Tiffany, to the stage. They talked over them, did not let them speak, and then when they disagreed with the young women, they kicked them to the audience and removed them from the room. They did imply that y'all shouldn't be doing this to black kings and all of this because these are black men who are running that app. And
what's that supposed to mean?
I think that we need to honestly have a conversation about this because this is not just happening with this app, but even more so, there was some news that broke about an app called Cookout. I was a little skeptical when a gentleman named Bobby Gay started popping up in rooms. I believe he got on Clubhouse around the same time that I did. He started talking about this app that was supposed to be like Clubhouse but for black people, and they was calling it the Cookout.
So what's the difference? What's the
like,
problem?
However, he every time he would talk about it, he would be like, yo, we gonna be up and running soon, yada yada yada. And so he would have these invitations, and I never reached out for an invitation. I was a little skeptical about it because I'm like, yo, I think that if you're going to do something different, because right now it just seems weird. Also, honestly, I don't want to log on to nothing called the Cookout because, I'm just not about.
Clubhouse is an equally shitty name.
I know, but I'm going to be honest. I just don't like the Cookout because we always talk about, well, that white person could come to the Cookout. So it's like, yo, and nevertheless, there was a article that was written yesterday and published on Medium. We record this on Sundays, but there was an article that was published yesterday on Medium where a black woman who went to the University of Kansas said that Bobby and the other black man saying that they are founding this app or saying that they are creating this app, the Cookout, went to Kansas with her and her co-founder, and they essentially have stolen this thing, which they have had up and running as a post-based app since June of 2019. They actually have trademarked Cookout app and all of that stuff, but Bobby has just been running around telling people that it's his, and he's linked with like founders. I mean, he's linked with tech investors and VCs and stuff now, and it's become a whole issue. Now, I think when it gets to, I think that me and you had a conversation about this, Neo, how we as black people, I think we put a different onus on us when people are doing something. We try to hold people to this super high regard, but I think that when white folks do the same thing, when they raising funds, for shit that's in beta or whatever, they probably screw people over too. That happens all the time.
Tubi.
Now, is it QB? QB, yes.
They just stole $1 billion.
But like I'm saying, so
I'm not.
But I think my issue with this, it wasn't even the fact that I think a lot of people were framing it as, yo, this black man, he's stealing from two black women, yada yada yada, and all of that. And that's boring. No. I'm going to give them that. However, I did have a whole separate issue with her. She said in her article, she specifically said that she discovered, I guess, or heard more about this recently when the Cookout was mentioned on the Breakfast Club, right?
Okay.
The Breakfast Club, a mainstream radio show.
Okay.
For black people, right? Their demographics are 18 to 34. Black women are the center. She said it was mentioned on the Breakfast Club, and she said we are totally not looking for the audience of the Breakfast Club, nor do we.
This is getting weird about a second.
Values as the the people who listen to the Breakfast Club, and I was a little concerned when I heard that because I'm like, Okay, so you're making an app for elitist black people? Is that what we doing?
Look, could we? That's why I hate that. Look, all right.
No, that was a lot jumbled in
No,
a lot of stuff.
no.
Go back to X-Wave and Breaker.
Wait. I'm gonna do both. So what? The thing about X-Waves is interesting. So I'm gonna start there. Then I'm gonna go to this other one. So to start with X-Wave, says once you agree to this, the music is in their hands. Says Wimp, in reference to the Fake Short Drive contest. Where they would have licensing rights to the music submission. So they could reproduce that music, modify, transmute, or distribute it. They can basically broker your music for you or use a substantial chunk of your music and remix it into something that you don't even like. So this is why I said Chicago has a pretendistry. That is completely... I could see how someone would fake try to justify it. And before they would finish the sentence, I would say stop. Because you're fake trying to justify it. That's some completely pretendistry ass shit. You just want people to pay you to sign off and take away, to give you their licensing for something that you might use.
You might do. Something I might do. Hey, there's a chance I might do.
There's a chance. So y'all all send in 1,000 songs at $20 a pop, right? So
and that's $50 for the other.
Wait. So let's check this shit out. So let's just say, so this one is $20 a submission, because that's the one I'm looking at. $20 a submission. So let's say, and what do you win? I don't even.
Oh, you get full service studio sessions or whatever.
Who the fuck need a studio session in 2021?
You get full service.
Go get a laptop.
A&Rs. You get people talking to folks on your behalf, I guess.
So you get 1,000 people to send that in at 20 bands. So then after that, you basically book a studio session for an artist for, like, let's say you book out a block of time for them for, like, I don't know, $500. So you still got $19,500, right? And then at the studio session, you invite 2 or 3 of your homies to smoke weed and hang out and get drunk at this person's studio session so they could say they sitting in the room with industry insiders. So let's say you spend $200 on the weed, $100 on the liquor. That's another $500. So you spend $500 on the studio. But if you really wanted these people, you probably finessing that person too. So $500 on the studio, $500 on the liquor, and inviting your homies, and you just keep $19,000, right? And then on top of that, you got 1,000 people who sent you in songs, right? So let's say, for example, anybody trying to win this contest, they probably gonna send in their best song, right? So then they send in their best song and it wind up popping later because you never even really listened to it. Because if you doing some slick shit like this, you probably chose the winner already. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, niggas do shit like that. So then they song pop up and blow up later. And now, because they sent you $20 and this song 3 years ago, you get the ownership to it. You get to say, yo, fam, hey, I get to relicense this.
I get to
relicense this. So then you wake up one day and your song on the McDonald's commercial and you don't know why. Because you paid them to rape you. Like, that's that pretendistry shit that I'm talking about. Like, I'm looking at the other one. It's a $50 entry fee for a $5,000 prize, right? So, like, once again, you get 1,000 people to send in this $50. You make 50,000, and then you cut them. Like, the shit that people come up with, rather than to just sit in the studio, make music, network with people. Like, you could do all that. If you actually did your job, you wouldn't need to do none of this slick, snaky bullshit. So that's why I call Chicago the pretendistry, because it's the most unnecessary, snaky ass shit. Like, really, I do get the pay to play aspect, though. On some aspect, though. Let's just be clear. Because a lot of times, artists are lazy as fuck, and they looking for somebody who in radio or on TV or who got to connect at a label to basically do their job for them and take care of them like children. So sometimes you do gotta like put up some sort of walls to determine some people's level of dedication to themselves. I understand that part, but if this was like, if they was really who they say they are, then they would just have showcases and they would just have a fan base, and they would just like, yeah, this some Chicago pretendistry shit. So I ain't gotta go. I'm stopping that. That's what
I do think that one of the things that bothered me about these apps, you know, especially the one that I guess was founded by black men, you know.
Which one?
It's
That
like,
black man, black woman shit.
it's like, yo, what is y'all talking about? Like, y'all know that y'all can still take advantage of folks. That's what y'all are trying to do here.
like that don't mean nothing to me. Even down to the whole, like I've been saying this for the longest. All that race and sex, that's just a simple way to control people. It's good people and bad people. I'm not gonna get mad at them for doing some shit.
Let's not act like there are not people who are banking on the fact that there are people who do not understand licensing.
That's all it is.
That's why they was upset that the article got made,
because
they
like,
was mad that somebody called them out on. They said, "Wait a minute."
But rather than do that,
we had the whole finesse laid out.
But here's the crazy part. There's a company called Taxi. All right, so fuck it. It's a company called Taxi. It's a bunch of companies that you have to pay to submit songs for them to consider to get it licensed. So this is a common practice, and it's not just one of them. It's like 10 of them that are really dope, and that's how you get your songs to be the song played in the background on Netflix and stuff like that, right? So Taxi and several other ones, I had to look it up, but several other ones, you do this. This is a common practice to make it into the licensing thing. What they actually do, though, is have relationships.
We don't know if these people don't have relationships.
No, like so for example, Taxi, you go on there, and this is for artists. This is a great way to make money. I know a guy, he doesn't work with that company. His name is I would love to get him here, Mr. Robotic. He makes 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year getting songs placed on CW shows, put in movies, Netflix shows, NBC, all of that. And it's all through licensing. Licensing is a quiet billion-dollar industry that a lot of people don't know nothing about. So I would love to get Mr. Robotic to break it all the way the fuck down how he does it. But you never heard of him. He's getting 6 figures a year.
Okay.
Easy. All these companies, though, they will actually be able to say, hey, and they'll send you a sizzle reel, and they'll be like, here is the shit we done got placed in the last 3 months, the last quarter, the last year. And they'll get songs placed on 20, 30, 40, 50 movies, 50 shows consistently, commercials, this, that, and the third. Where now you sending them $30 to $50, $20 and putting this song out, it might work out. It pans out. So all I'm saying is that's the difference between the pretendistry and the industry. It's not even a business practice. It's not even what a business practice is. We're completely taking the license, and that's what the problem is. You could just be up front, tell people what you're going to do, and then turn around and actually pitch it and actually develop the relationships and actually become part of a $1 billion a year industry instead of just trying to get over on people. Like, you could actually just do your fucking job.
I would, you know,
like, that's A. And then B, the thing about the other company, the Cookout and all that, the reason why you was like, oh, it's black women. 2 seconds later, the bitch said some real elitist ass, ignorant ass shit.
No, because that was my issue with it.
Blue blood.
I had an issue with it because I was like, I didn't understand why she said that she didn't like
the
Breakfast Club. And I was like, yo, there's no reason to, because I think that there's an
we
issue.
too good for the Breakfast Club.
That's an issue that I see all the time. And I saw somebody ask a question
we
today.
bootlegs.
They said, why don't people like the Breakfast Club? Honest question. And I said, it's not that. I said, the common person is not that person who is yelling and screaming and policing the Breakfast Club. Those are just the people who have the time and energy to scream about some shit that they don't like, that they want changed. And also, I definitely believe that the non-confrontational show that they say they want, they would not listen to. Why? Because it would not be entertaining.
The Breakfast Club isn't entertaining to me.
but you also recognize that there's a world out here of people who enjoy the shit.
At the same time,
like, and those are black people. At the same
time, if I saw that the Breakfast Club was talking about Neo.com and some app that I was putting out for free without my publicist mentioning it, if I had randomly went so viral due to a nigga trying to snake me, where now Angela Yee or Charlemagne is mentioning my name, the last thing I'm going to think in that moment is, I don't want the Breakfast Club. The first thing I'm going to think is, I'm going to arrange an interview so I can go on and sit down and talk to Envy and clear the air and let them know that it's really me. I would not turn around and look this gift whore, especially if I own the trademark, if I own the... All right, look. I had a buddy today. I'm not going to say. I had a buddy, and I'm using this term loosely, who was pitching to Meg the Stallion's people an idea about doing something with a crossover with a video game company. Great idea. They were looking to attach Meg to it before they went and pitched it to the video game company direct. Meg's people called the video game company to vet it to make sure and see if it was a real thing. Video game company said, hey, glad you called. This is a great idea. Never heard of them. I'm sure Meg's people in the video game company are continuing their conversations as we speak. So if somebody is doing the most and they provide you an opportunity out of them trying to do whatever, how do you then turn around and say, oh no, that's the Breakfast Club. No, thank you. You just got put on the number. You not only was you just put on Hot 97, you just got put on Revolt. You just got put on the Shade Room. You just got $100,000 PR run for nigga. That's $100,000 PR run. Morgan.
It is. But it's like, and I want to say this. She literally said that. Because the girl got into it with my homies at Mizo Estates yesterday. And Mizo Estates, I'm going to be honest, they were being very belligerent. And kind of, they weren't making a lot of sense totally, but they were like, they just didn't believe that this person stole the shit when he basically does look like this person stole the shit. But they also were telling her that they didn't like, you know, the fact that she was saying that, she didn't want Dusties on the app because she called folks Dusties and all this other stuff. And she said, y'all are not my users. And then somebody asked her this morning, they said, can we get y'all are not my users on the t-shirt? And she said, we are not for everybody and we are not ever trying to be.
Okay, so one more time. Fuck black and white, male and female. There are these halves, these elite master mentality people that come in all shades, all shapes, all colors. Is people that got green and is people that don't. And the people that got green, they live in their own little private world that is their world. And then the people that don't. And how did the Republicans control these people? Because they made it about black and white. They was like, oh, we're white supremacists too, yay. But at the same time, America's billionaires made $1 trillion last year, and Red America broke it than ever. How can you go to Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Florida, all of these places where these people been begging you to open up a motherfucker? Please, please open up a factory. Please, please, please help us. $1 trillion gets generated in funny money in 1 year that only goes to the billionaires. And the people that voted for this get not a dollar. You know why? Because they thought it was white. And they was like, we all white. And the motherfuckers, they was like, we white too. And then they was like, yeah, we gonna get it. And they said, actually, we rich.
Actually,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're wealthy, rich. And you're not. And they thought it was this whole white and white thing. And what Red America just found out is it's wealthy and not. Because they thought that they was going to get pardoned by the president. And when Lil Wayne walked out of that federal crime, like, Kodak Black got let out of jail. They was like, what? But they're niggers. He's like, but they wealthy. And what just happened is some wealthy people may call some more wealthy people, and you thought he was black, and you thought he was white, and you thought she was male, and you thought that you thought she was female, you thought he was male. Really? They was all wealthy and they was looking out for each other.
People did used to think I was male. So.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was actually all a lie. That was all a lie. But that's all that happened. And when you looked at to tie that back together, you look at this Cookout thing. Oh man, they did that to a black woman. That's what happened if you look at the census boxes. 2 seconds later, that bitch opened her mouth. Black woman? Bitch, you dusty. We are the haves. And you could be a black woman all you want, but if you dusty and you don't have, then it ain't for you. And that's all I keep saying when people keep trying to make it about some shit that life ain't about. It ain't about this male-female shit. It ain't about gay-straight. It's about the haves and the fucking have-nots. It's about the good people and the dickheads. Like, and it's good people of all races, all genders, and it's dickheads. It's like, if you focus on good people, you will get along. If you, and really, I don't have nothing against the haves. I prefer to be a have than a have not. But you're not going to convince me we the same because we black. No, nigga, stop playing. You see, I saw Rick Ross' house on, Puffy was in Rick Ross' house. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Don't say we all black. We not. You're a have. You want cheap taxes so you could keep having shit like this. And you could try to suck me in with this black shit, but at the end of the day, you on team have. I want to be on team have. But I'm not going to pretend like they just didn't get a billionaire's $1 trillion while we waiting on the $1,000. We supposed to be waiting on the stimulus check. And these chumps just checked $1 trillion? Dog. Fuck out of here.
We waiting on $1,400.
We waiting on $1,400, and these niggas who already had billions just got an extra $1 trillion. But they say but you wait. Hey, look, we gonna talk to Mitch McConnell and see what he say. Nigga, what?
It's time for music theory, y'all. It's time for music theory, and we starting the music theory off with a record from the deluxe version of The Voice, which is Lil Durk's album. Okay. He dropped the video with Cole Bennett yesterday. This is Kanye Krazy.
Kanye Krazy.
Taj Money.
Hey, pull up, Lamb.
I fucked up so many times, would you bless me again? You went through what I went through, you'll feel desperate to win. You got statements on your dog, you a threat with the pen. Couple nights I rolled strike cause they was changing the VIN. And I drink a ginger ale, that's what I take with my 10. I say this my last time, then I'll take it again. Is you with me or you not, but I ain't gon' say it again. Get a second chance with promises, don't break it again. Oh, I'm going Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. I'm going Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. I'm going Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. Going Kanye crazy. You ain't got the answer, sway. I be claiming I'm the realest like any other day. The feds got no in the camera inside this Cartier. Try not to bring up shit you did, you gotta concentrate. They don't think about handcuffs no more, they tryna kill me. I won't put my trust in you no more, you gotta feel me. Bringing up my case, I had to seal it. Kanye crazy with this the real me. I'm going Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. I'm going Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. I'm going Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy.
That was Kanye Krazy by Little Durk. The video, Neo. That video, I love that video. I love how he paid homage to all of the stuff that Kanye has done. I mean, some of his wild antics to some of his just, amazing videos and shit and artwork. It was just, I'm going to be honest. It brought joy to my heart to see just the Chicago love in it.
Cole Bennett. This is Cole Bennett at his. This is when he's nice. Like when he really getting into his After Effects game, and he really just playing around and doing good shit, different sets and stuff like that. It's I like it. I like it. This is probably his best video to me since Juice, since Lucid Dreams, and that even down to the little Taylor Swift lookalike. They nailed it. So I'm happy for it. It's interesting to be at the point where now Kanye is an artist who's so big that other Chicago artists who are coming off of this is crazy. Lil Durk is coming off of a Drake feature and now has a Kanye homage video done.
And this is Cole Bennett's magnum opus.
And Cole Bennett.
This is magnum opus.
Arguably Cole Bennett best video.
Yeah, this
since
is magnum.
Lucid Dreams.
Like I said, this is magnum opus.
Wow, this wait, Durk is in a moment right now.
This is magnum opus.
We witnessing, because I don't really know what's bigger than Drake.
And I'm glad that he did it, following the situation with Def Jam ended. Yeah. Like, I think that's really dope, and it shows how...
Now I'm free from them.
I mean, and it also shows just how committed he is. I think that a lot of times when people look at, and I'll say this, when people look at some of these artists who aren't the typical, rap artists, especially like, these artists who come from drill and stuff like that.
Right.
A lot of them try to diminish their work ethic and how passionate they are about the art that they create.
Yeah.
And I think that Durk has proven a lot of folks wrong, because there were a lot of folks I remember in 2012 when Durk and Keith and some of these others were being looked at, and they didn't think that these kids they didn't think that they were as passionate or talented as some of the others who have not had the careers that they've had. No shots, but like Vic Mensa has not had the career that Durk has had.
Vic Mensa got the ultimate.
Hell, we talked about Alex Wiley a few years ago. He
Vic
didn't have a
Mensa,
career.
you know what it is? He got the layup, because he had Kanye features, Chance features, Skrillex beats. They gave him the layup, and I am actually, though, to be honest about Durk, out of all them early songs from that era, L's was one of my favorite ones.
L's Anthem.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones. Like, that shit was, I remember Freddie Gibbs had Durk come out and do that shit at a show they had. I think it was that one up on Clark. I can't remember the name right now, the spot on Clark. But he came in at a Gibbs concert. And when I say shut that shit down, like, Freddie didn't know what to perform next.
Kanye crazy.
Like, I've seen, look, I'm happy for Durk.
Kanye crazy.
Yeah, that's fucked up though.
Kanye crazy.
Well, you know what though?
Crazy.
I'm happy for Kanye crazy. It's like, that might be that's another level of crazy. Like, you go Kanye crazy, like, damn, nigga, you went there. Like, but nah, that shit was decent. What's next?
So there is a young lady who I want to play her new record. It dropped. She's with Atlantic. It dropped on January 26th. This is Bree Steves, and it's called Anti-Queen.
They say I'm not a queen because I walk like that, and I talk like this, and I don't hold back. They say I'm not a queen when I act like this, when I dress like that, when I flex like this. They say I'm not a queen cause I talk my shit and I back it up, and I don't write dick. They say I'm not a queen cause I had an abortion. Well, she thinks she important. It's all bullshit. I'm way too savage, I don't meet industry standards. I get way too honest when I'm in front of a camera. Had to bet on myself, invest in myself. A queen that's on guard, can't can't think less of myself. I gave you all of me, I need the rest of myself. Why you calling me if you don't want my help? Stay far from me if you against my health. No one will stop what I just built. He ain't stopping me, she ain't stopping me, you ain't stopping me, I ain't stopping me. All of my comments know they be watching me. They say I'm spoiled, they say I'm vain, I plead the fifth. They say I'm a plant like they the ones who grew my shit. Queen Ish been through it, I seen shit that's real. My demeanor don't mean I'm a mean bitch, so chill. They say I talk too loud, tone it down, you do too much. Like if you ain't kissing nobody ass, then you ain't doing enough. That's why they say I'm not a queen if I don't have a king. I don't have a clue if I don't have a ring. They say I'm not a queen, cause I ain't getting naked. She ain't gon' really make it. It's all bullshit. Way too savage, I don't meet industry standards. I get way too honest when I'm in front of a camera. Had to bet on myself, invest in myself. A queen that's on guard, can't think less of. I gave you all of me, I need the rest of myself. Why you calling me if you don't want my help? Stay far from me if you against my health. No one will stop what I just built. They say I'm not
Brief
a queen.
Steve, Philly born femc. I'm not gonna call her femc, a female born rap artist. Actually, Kendrick Lamar is a fan of hers. I know that he brought her out on Made in America a few years ago. She's a Temple. I think she went to Temple University.
Okay.
We were watching the video as the song was playing. I will start with my thoughts about the record. You know,
you go
it's
first.
a record, Joe, that I bop with. You know, I will. I'm gonna listen to it again. I think that it's really dope to have diverse women
Of course.
rapping.
I wish.
And I think
dream of
that
mine.
she you know, I want to listen to more of her catalog. I'm really getting introduced to her for the first time, you know.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go listen to a little bit more of her catalog.
Please do. Let me know.
What do you think?
You trying to convince me that this is all one person?
Oh my God, I am so bothered right now. We are having a discussion. We were having a discussion
like,
off the mic about the video because for some reason, Rodney, who is in the room, and Neo, who's in the room, they don't understand how makeup works. They don't understand how hair works.
Like 5
I don't know
different
why
people.
they don't understand how black women are so amazing that we can change how we appear sometimes.
No.
Like, they don't understand what contour is, what a cut crease is. They don't understand bronzers or lashes. None of that shit.
You know what I understand is every date from now on is going to involve water.
Shut up. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
Every single date is going to involve water.
We're not doing that. We're
Between
not doing that.
this video and the Busted Challenge, I am completely disturbed. And look, I'm sure.
First of all, she's the same. I don't know how you can't look at her eyes and tell her
It
she's
should look
the
like
same
a
person.
K-pop video where they got like 6 different chicks who almost look the same. but
Dog,
don't.
it's the same person.
This is a K-pop video.
Oh my God.
This black K-pop.
This is disgusting right now. This is disgusting.
You know what though? It kind of feel like the a little bit.
How do y'all not see that this is the same person?
How do you see that it is?
Dog, I come in with a different hairstyle now every week. I'm the same person.
Listen. Anyway, I like a couple of the looks. It is very similar actually to the Cole Bennett video, except that why Cole Bennett.
Okay, let's not talk about the video. Can we talk about the song?
It's not the type of shit I would ever listen to.
Why?
Why? Can we just talk about the video?
No, can we talk about the song?
That type. I'm not the demographic, politically correct answer. That I don't understand that type of empowerment. That's not an empowering mentality to me. I'm a very take personal responsibility for every thought, every emotion, and every action.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Maybe that makes certain people feel empowered. Like basically it was like I'm a dickhead, I'm an asshole, I'm a bitch.
She's a bunch of different things because a lot of times we're not allowed to be a lot of different things as women.
Oh.
We're forced into boxes and we're not allowed to be our full selves. You know, we're judged often off looks, which is something I could say with the video. We are judged often off our look.
I don't know nothing about that.
Before we're judged off our personality.
I can see that. I can see that.
I say that as somebody who was beautiful when I was presented as a man. But even more so now, I'm judged off my looks than I was off my personality before.
Now we just lying on camera.
First of all, I was gorgeous. Don't play with me.
Anyway,
I was stunning.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have fucked the old me.
Look. I kind of get what you. I get what you're saying. Not even kind of. I 1000% get what you're saying regarding society. I was looking at you ever seen Ad Men, the TV show about like the first people ever they was working at ad agencies back.
Mad Men.
Whatever.
You just called them ad men.
Well, they was advertising people. I'm not a big.
My God.
I didn't watch that many episodes, but I watched anyway. Let me get to my point.
Mm-hmm.
I watched some episodes and I saw how women were treated in corporate America back then. And I'm not saying they're not going through stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying when I saw it in a much more extreme point of view.
Yeah.
And I realized that a lot of the people who lived through that are still alive.
And I want you to look at the black women in your life and recognize that they experience that same thing now, especially in the industries that we navigate.
Yeah.
In these advertising agencies, you know, the artists, even in radio, for example, right? Like Wendy Williams, her biopic or whatever, the Lifetime movie just came out. And there was a lot of stuff that, you know, she had to deal with simply because she was a woman, especially a woman who was very forward about having a loud mouth and about having all of the teeth.
See, that's where
respectability politics are a thing.
Nah, see, that's where the bullshit comes in.
Stop it. We're not going to
let me. You
We're
ask.
not going to do that today.
Well, yes, we are.
We're not going to do it today.
Here's why.
We do this every week.
Here's why. If you're going to have that mentality, it has nothing to do with gender, nothing to do with sex. Everything else has something to do with sex, and that's fucked up. That right there has nothing to do with that. Hold on, let me finish.
No.
I'm finished. I'm gonna finish. If you're gonna be an asshole and have a loud mouth and do all of that, it's the same as being a dickhead as a dude. You're gonna have to take the consequences and repercussions that comes along with that type of behavior, and you're going to have to be accountable and responsible for your behavior. You just can't turn around and be a loudmouth, and then when somebody call you out on that shit, you can't turn around and say, "Oh, it's because I'm black. Oh, it's because I'm a woman." No, it's because you acted like that, and that's the consequences for that behavior all the time. It don't matter your gender. It
does, but there is a difference. There's definitely a difference. There have been times where I've been in rooms and I've seen men loudly disagree with a conversation that's being had in meetings, right? And at that point, it's seen as passion. However, let a woman who has brown skin make that same statement or make that same abruption, she's going to be labeled as emotional. She's going to be labeled as aggressive. I got told myself that when I was entering into spaces, it's a woman, they said, "Oh, you're going to have to stop being as aggressive." They said, "You're going to have to stop being aggressive."
Well, here's the thing. That's a two-way street. I'm sure what you're saying is true. I have also seen women not women, because I wouldn't disrespect women. I've seen ladies be childish, arrogant, petulant, bratty bitches in moments where it would have served them and everyone around them best to be professional, and they allowed that shit to get the best of them. So I've witnessed both. And here's the deal. Unless you're a white man, no one can afford to behave that way. You have to be accountable for that shit. And you could think that shit cool or think it's cute. Does it work for you? Yes or no? If it does not work, if every time you do it, you meet resistance and shit don't work out, then guess who the problem is? You. Outsmart them. But to do the same thing every time and expect a different result is the fucking definition of insanity. And if you keep behaving like that and you keep getting the same result and you keep trying it over and over again, it's not the world. It's you, boo. And that doesn't matter if you a male, a female, if you gay, if you straight, if you black, if you white, if you a have not. If that shit ain't working, it's not working. So just it's that.
Now, can we go back to the record? What don't you like about?
That's what I didn't like about the record.
You didn't like her message?
Yeah.
But what about her flow? Like, do
it
you
was
think
decent. It was decent. I want to hear more of it. I like as an artist, I like the visuals. I like the different sides she showed. That's why I don't think it was that record. And I've heard that mentality come out of a lot of people's mouths before, and it sounds like I sense that they get some form of empowerment from it. So I let it slide. And if you hadn't just kept pushing me, I would have stuck with the politically correct answer. But the fact
don't be trying me.
But the fact that you pushed it,
don't try me. Don't try me. Do not try me today.
But the fact of the matter is,
don't do it today.
That mentality is not mature.
Don't do it today.
It's not
last
mature.
song we're
it's
listening to. The last song we're listening to.
Is there a video for it?
This is a new single from CJ.
Who is CJ?
Well, his name was formerly CJ Whoopty. He's now just CJ. And the song is called Bop.
Oh wow. Okay.
That say you ain't got it.
I said so. Look, I think they feeling my bop now. We on top now. I'm on the strip with the top down. With your bitch, you give me top now. I gotta stick to this guap now. You get shot down. Hottest nigga in the spot now. I cannot stop now. She yelling out, she wanna fuck with a wolfie. I feel a groovy, hitting my phone like, baby, come do me. We making a movie. She wanna pull up and give me the pesos. I'm counting the pesos. I gotta stick to the cheese like gasso. Then we making a mess, so wait, slide. She said she feeling a vibe. I told her jump in the ride. She said I'm one of a kind. Wait, slide. She said she wanna get high. I told her, baby, I'm bringing the guys. Then we have a menage. I think they feeling my bop now. We on top now. I'm on the strip with the top down. With your bitch, you give me top now. I gotta stick to this guap now. You get shot down. Hottest nigga in the spot now. I cannot stop now. She yelling out, she wanna fuck with a wolfie. I feel a groovy, hitting my phone like, baby, come do me. We making a movie. She wanna pull up and give me the pesos. I'm counting the pesos. I gotta stick to the cheese like gasso. Then we making a mess, so slide. She said she feeling a vibe. I told her jump in the ride. She said I'm one of a kind. Wait, slide. She said she wanna get high. I told her, baby, I'm bringing the guys. Then we have a menage.
That was Bop from CJ. And again, we have videos on the background and people make wild observations. They look at the video. So I'm gonna talk about the record a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I heard this record because I was hearing Whoopty because I know his name used to be CJ Whoopty, and I was like, yo, I don't like the name CJ Whoopty.
I can't really.
But I do appreciate him still using the tag Whoopty. But I actually do like his music a little bit. You know? And I'm gonna be honest, that was a good reintroduction to him because I felt like Whoopty had moved really fast. Like I started watching.
Can we just move on past?
No,
Whoopty?
hold on. Can I? No, I'm saying let me talk about it because I want to talk about Bop. But the thing that kind of I guess gave me a preconceived notion about him was that when I would look at my title, my Spotify, my Apple Music, Whoopty was elevating very, very, very fast up on the playlist, and I was like, oh wow, that's an industry plant, so I ain't really riding with that.
It's not necessarily industry plant. Somebody just cut a check.
But then hold on, I listened to Bop.
Right.
Now the video kind of threw me a little off at first because
you knew what
he had the same revelation right there.
Yeah.
I had never seen the video.
Yeah.
And then I saw the video and I said, oh. But it was a good It was a good It was like, okay, let's go. Okay, Rico Suave, I'm with it. So I think the observation that we are talking about is we did not realize that
listen,
CJ was
New York
Puerto
City,
Rican.
New York City, New York City, New York City, New York City. I love you guys. Look, this is from the 312 to the 212. Listen very carefully. I don't know how wise it is for y'all to let a not black guy stand in front of y'all in giant red coats and wearing a lot of red, throwing up gang signs, with music that kind of sounds like Pop Smoke Brooklyn drill. Cause last time I checked, the last couple groups of people who did that are now currently dead or in jail. Let's be clear. I don't know what it is, but the song is decent. Staten Island, Puerto Rican, Brooklyn drill is new to me. But I'm just gonna say from a completely, and this has nothing to do with you, young man. I just think that your stylist, you should have talked to him. I don't think it's a good look after what just happened. Shout out to Shotty. Shout out to the.
Can you talk about the record, man? You keep talking about all this other stuff outside of music. We don't care about that yet.
Yet, nigga, that's the 900-pound gorilla. Like, did they deliberately put him in a non? Shit, is he gonna get a tattoo on his face next? Like, that's all I want to know. It sounds like Brooklyn drill. The last time people came out with some Brooklyn drill was Pop Smoke them, and that didn't work out for nobody because everybody's in jail. And R.I.P. Pop Smoke. And the last time that came out of Brooklyn, 9 Trey got locked up. So when I see this, I cannot help but automatically think about the last 2 times I've heard this sound and I've seen that image, and when I put them together, that's the first thing that's gonna come to my mind every time. So my suggestion to you is, I didn't even get a chance to hear the song. I'm like, it sounded like Pop Smoke and it looked like the boy whose name will not be, just don't flow off my tongue. So CJ Whoopty, I'm glad you got rid of Whoopty. That's a step in the right direction. My next suggestion is check your stylist, and whoever came up with that visual, that ain't the look, New York. I don't believe that look benefits you in the long term. How about that?
All right. And the elephant in the room that we have not addressed. T.I. and Tiny.
I don't know about this.
T.I. and Tiny. Oh, wow. You don't know about this. Okay, so T.I.
I heard T.I. said it didn't happen, but but that sounds like something anybody would say. I didn't hear. I really don't know. So you're going to get a fresh take. Come on.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. I'm going to
let me type in T.I. and Tiny.
No, I'm going to let T.I.
He got 5.7 million views in 5 days, though, CJ on Bop.
Because he's from Staten Island. The whole island is behind him.
I mean, they got 30 million people in the metro, like in the Tri-City, with Tri-State, whatever the fuck it is.
So, this is,
I was looking up T.I. and Tiny. I forgot.
Hey, so as y'all could probably guess or imagine, it's been extremely difficult for me to remain quiet in light of all the things that have transpired and all of the egregious allegations that's been tossed around about me and my wife. But it's a reason for that, and I don't mind sharing it. You see, if a person does not have any right to criminally or civilly have you in court, they have no right. The best thing they could do is get you for a defamation suit, drag you in court, make you pay their legal bills, but get you in court. Now, I mean, at this point, man, it's at the point where that don't even matter to me no more, okay? But that's the motive, that's the strategy, that's the intention. Say a whole bunch of false stuff about you that get people to believe and make them come out and say, they're a liar, they're a liar, they're a liar. And then they can say, see, they call me a liar. That's defamation. Then they drag you in court, get you under oath and all that. Because unfortunately right now, it doesn't matter as much what they can prove you did. It matters what you could prove you didn't. You know what I mean? And that's just an unfortunate place that our society has made it to.
So what's the alleged?
The allegations are that T.I. and Tiny have had very they've had a lot of collaborations with young women. Sometimes these young women are drugged up without their knowledge, according to these allegations, and they have woken up in between different people besides T.I. and Tiny at times. It is something that I would like to say that being in the radio industry, being in the rap industry, I'm not unaware of certain behaviors that happen.
Okay.
Especially, with some people who dangle some coin in front of some folks, or some folks who just, they really just want to have a good time.
Right.
The allegations, though, and some of the text messages that were stated,
what's the
have these women said, like, they woke up
so they
between people that they did not know. They said that they were coerced. Coercion can mean a lot of different things. I don't want to break down exactly what it is, but they said that they were coerced into partaking in situations with T.I. and Tiny, and that they've had to do a lot of different things, without their consent. The young lady who started all of this, she's somebody who used to work with T.I. and Tiny, Sabrina Peterson. She says T.I. put a gun to her head.
Okay.
Which
that's why I say that's
something he totally can't do, because
get to the meat and potatoes. Because prior to this, it was suspect. Now it's like, let's get to the what's her name?
Sabrina Peterson.
Okay.
And so Shekinah came out and said some shit a few days ago, and basically said that you was out there picking up the girls with us. Shekinah was saying about Sabrina. So Shekinah,
that's what I sounded like to me at first.
Incriminated everybody a little bit.
Well, no, because
I'm not even gonna say.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Because look, what it sounded like. That's why the first half.
Okay, and I want to get into this one other thing, because there was a 911 operator. There was a 911 operator who came forward and stated that a young lady called her, saying that T.I. just raped her, and then T.I. dropped her off in front of a strip club. They said at the top of the pandemic, so that would have been about April last year.
So
March or April.
Don't quote me. Yeah, so they have the 911 call. 911, do they have any follow-up with it?
The 911 operator, I don't believe that they are allowed to release. I think that the courts have to, subpoena them for the call, but they did state that this call exists.
Okay, so, all right, it's a call that exists, and, they knew where she was at. Yeah, so, but this particular person, has she come out?
And press charges? A lot of these people are anonymous at this point.
Okay, cool.
And I don't want to, blow the bag up, because there were originally 19 or 20 plus women that sent in allegations to this young lady. Now, one or two of those have been discredited,
right?
Because those were people who literally said that they were trolling, so they sent this lady messages, that's sick and fucked up and just weird.
What you should expect, though.
I mean, it is what you should expect when you're dealing with somebody.
You do that, you got to know.
You're going to get some trolls.
You already got to know that 30-40% of this shit is fugazi.
But I still think that the fact that, yes, and this has been my issue with people when they talk about it, they say, well, I don't think that T.I. did all of that. And I say, well, it don't matter if he did all of it. If he did one, if you assault one person, guess what?
Here's the thing about that story. And Whatever. Allegations is allegations, man. That shit don't mean nothing. Especially, I mean, his answer is absolutely the truth about that. That doesn't mean it's the truth about that case, but his answer is the truth. So I'm looking at the Glam University, and there's nothing glam about it. What it sounds like is they was having some freaky, drug-fueled mansion sex in Atlanta, and they was sending out their friends to go and get the girls to hang out at the mansion and do amazing drugs and drink expensive premium liquor for free and bust nuts. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that some of the more nefarious things aren't a possibility. It just sounds like they had a party house going on. And it sounds like, you know what I want you to play? Play T.I. Freak, though. Play Freak. Bitch, I'll play it. No, that's what they made a song about this. It's already a song that T.I. made talking about what him and Tiny do. It's been out for over 10, 15 fucking years.
And I'm gonna say this. I heard somebody the other day who said, they literally told me this. They said it's known throughout Atlanta that you don't leave a club with T.I. and Tiny.
It's over a Neptune beat. Play it.
Okay.
They been made a song about this. But she's a freak, though. It sounds like this song is true. Maybe have my baby. You're my. And everything shine ain't a diamond. Right. So in the song, public, cause all my partners in the hood done tried you. Going to a housewife. I don't want a housewife. Right. But she's a freak, though. So in this record that was on the album, they talk about how they go have threesomes and shit. So this is not a secret. It's a song that they got Pharrell to fucking make.
But I think that the main thing here is allegations of abuse and people being like not consenting to certain things.
Yeah, that is the allegation. That's the issue, and I get that. Because
that's the actual issue.
What I will say is, and I said that earlier, it sounds like crazy sex fueled parties that people have been groomed and selected to appear to, or you've been walked up to by somebody, a husband and wife walk up to you and try to take you home. You know what it is. So consent is involved in all of this. At the same time, where it's gonna be blurred lines like crazy is you are specifically coming to someone's house to have crazy sex-fueled, drug-fueled parties that is notoriously known for having drug and alcohol-fueled sex parties for the last 7 to 10 years. And proven
17 years, shit.
This is a double-decade thing that a fucking Neptune's beat has documented. So you can't say that's like showing up.
And I'm being cautious about even mentioning some of the. There have been rumblings that some of these acts included minors.
See, I don't know about all that.
And I don't want to just have that thrown into the mix because
if it's rumblings, that's fine. Rumblings, that's just that shit that bitches do. When names pop up and that happen, fine. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. This alleged 911 call, fine. 911 got that.
Yeah.
They could cross that bridge when they get there.
And if they play that
we
call,
could, that's.
And
that,
again, just because somebody makes a call, it does not mean
that it's even
that it's true.
Yeah,
it just means that.
So let's go to what we are talking about right now. What we talking about is that one girl who said that she was. It just sound like she had been doing some freak shit for a while. They have been doing some freak shit for a while together. That's the same girl who I used to watch when they had the little show together. And I was sitting there watching the show like, do these bitches eat each other pussy? This is the shit I'm looking at and thinking as I'm watching the show. And now it's confirming that the shit I was thinking was going on the whole time. And maybe, let's be clear, it's drugs, it's alcohol, it's sex, and it's feelings involved. Let's not forget that maybe somebody who has some drugs, alcohol, sex, and feelings involved is doing some silly shit that goes along with dick, pussy, liquor, and drugs.
Okay.
Let's leave that on the table.
Yeah. I think that about wraps us up today. I want to give you something disgusting to think about before we leave.
No.
Tiffany Haddish did the silhouette challenge, and she's making out with Common in her silhouette challenge.
Are they both bald headed?
Hey man, yo, they got the baldies going.
They sitting there rubbing their head like Onyx and shit. Like Tiffany Haddish, I'm so look. Hey, shout out to Common. Common has had a true Chicago legend. He has knocked off more A-list celebrity females at their prime than anybody else other than maybe Kanye.
And now he riding off into the sunset with Tiffany.
But here's the thing, though. None of the chicks who he had before, you don't really want them right now. When they was at their peak is when Common had them. So how we going to end the show is this brother got Grammys. He got Oscars. He almost got an EGOT, right? He's a successful brother, 87th Street. And almost equally, if not more importantly, he has knocked off more A-list celebrities at their peak than anybody other than Kanye. And for that, people don't remember that nigga's a Southside nigga who get mad bitches and fuck bad bitches. So shout out to Common. We salute you. We love you. Sabrina. Yes, play that shit. You had Serena at her peak. Erykah Badu at her peak. You that nigga. Southside in this bitch.
All right. Like, rate, subscribe, and have a beautiful week.
Peace.